Dr. Evelyn Hayes had dedicated 20 years of her life to working with children diagnosed with ADHD. 20 years, hundreds of cases, thousands of hours of therapy. She thought she had seen everything. Children who couldn't sit still for even a second. Children who destroyed everything in their path. Children abandoned by their own parents. She had developed techniques, protocols, scientifically proven methods. She was the best in her field. She knew it. Her colleagues knew it. The families who desperately sought her out knew it. But that day in October, Dr. Hayes encountered something that left her utterly speechless. Something that defied everything she thought she knew. Something that would forever change how she understood her profession. She was standing at the entrance to Mr. Harrison's home. She had arrived for another evaluation of Kevin, the 10-year-old boy everyone had declared unmanageable. The boy 5 specialists had unsuccessfully attempted to treat. The boy 3 schools had expelled. Kevin, the only grandchild of Mr. Harrison, the son of his deceased son. Because that was the tragedy beneath the tragedy. Kevin's father had died in a car accident 3 years ago. Kevin was 7 when it happened. He already had ADHD before the accident. But afterwards, everything worsened. The child who was already difficult became impossible. Grief mingled with the disorder, rage with hyperactivity, pain with impulsivity. No one knew how to handle him. Not his mother, who moved to another city because she couldn't take it anymore. Not his grandmother, who died a year after the accident. Of sadness, some say. Of cancer, the doctors say. Only Mr. Harrison remained. A 68-year-old man, a widower, with a grandson the world said was broken. Mr. Harrison had dedicated his life to building an empire, a hardware store chain, the largest in the state. He had started with nothing, a small shop, a big dream, and work, a lot of work. He had achieved everything he set out to do in business. But he couldn't help his grandson. He didn't know how. Money was useless for this, and it was the only thing he had. Money. A lot of money. So he spent it. He spent it on the best neurologist in the city. He spent it on the best occupational therapist. He spent it on psychologists, psychiatrists, behavioral specialists, life coaches, specialized tutors, private schools, experimental programs. He spent millions, literally millions, and nothing worked. Kevin remained the same, the child who couldn't sit still, the child who broke everything, the child who screamed, the child no one could control. Evelyn had been the 5th therapist, and honestly, she hadn't achieved much either. The last few sessions had been a disaster. Kevin couldn't concentrate for more than 3 minutes. He got up constantly. He interrupted. He screamed. He broke things. Evelyn had recommended increasing the medication. It was the only thing left. But that day, when she entered the house, she didn't hear any screams. She didn't hear things breaking. She didn't hear the usual chaos. She heard silence. An eerie silence. Unsettling. She walked towards the study where she usually held the sessions, and what she saw paralyzed her. Kevin was sitting, not moving, not jumping, not running. Sitting in a chair at a table, doing homework, math homework, with a pencil in his hand, with an open notebook, with his eyes fixed on the numbers. concentrated. Next to him was a woman in a blue uniform. White apron, yellow gloves hanging from her pocket. She wasn't a therapist. She wasn't a specialized teacher. She was the cleaning lady, Maria. And she was sitting next to Kevin, calm, unhurried, with a red kitchen timer on the table, marking the time. Evelyn stood in the doorway, unable to move, unable to speak, observing. Kevin looked up from his notebook. "I finished this problem," he said. The cleaning lady, Maria, smiled. "Very good, Kevin. How many stars do you have today?" Kevin looked at a small notebook beside him. He counted with his finger. 7 stars, he said proudly. Maria nodded. 7 stars. That's excellent. If you get to 10, you can play for 20 minutes before dinner. Kevin smiled. A genuine smile. A smile Evelyn had never seen on that child. "I'm going to get to 10, Kevin said, and he went back to concentrating on the next problem. Evelyn felt her legs trembling. This wasn't possible. This couldn't be the same child. The same child who had flipped her desk over 3 weeks ago. The same child who had screamed for 40 minutes non-stop. The same child she had declared as one of the most severe cases she had ever seen. Mr. Harrison appeared behind her. "Dr. Hayes," he said, "we weren't expecting you so early." Evelyn couldn't stop staring at Kevin. How is this possible?" Mr. Harrison sighed. "I don't know, Doctor. Well, I don't understand it either. But he's been like this for 2 months. 2 months? Evelyn asked. 2 months, Mr. Harrison confirmed, since Maria started working here. Maria. That was the cleaning lady's name. A 42-year-old woman, black hair pulled back in a bun, calloused hands, eyes that had seen a lot. Mr. Harrison had hired her 2 months ago, not to take care of Kevin, just to clean, cook, maintain the house. The previous caretaker had quit, the 4th in a year. No one wanted to work with Kevin. He was too difficult, too chaotic, too exhausting. Maria had come on recommendation, a cousin who worked in another house in the area. "They need a cleaning lady," she had said. "They pay well, but there's a difficult child." Maria didn't ask any more questions. She needed the job. She had bills to pay, a small apartment, a simple life. She had no idea what awaited her. But she wasn't afraid either, because Maria had faced worse things, much worse. Evelyn finally found her voice. "I need to speak with her," she said. "Now." Mr. Harrison nodded. "Maria, the doctor wants to speak with you." Maria got up from the table. She whispered something to Kevin. The boy nodded and continued working, alone, without supervision, concentrated. Evelyn felt like she was in a dream or a nightmare. She didn't know which. They went to the living room. Maria sat across from her, calm, without nerves, as if she had nothing to hide. "Mrs. Maria," Evelyn began. Only Maria answered. "Maria, what did you do to that boy?" Maria smiled softly. "I didn't do anything, Doctor. I just understood him." Dr. Hayes frowned. "Understood him? What does that mean?" "It means I saw him. I really saw him. Not as a problem to be solved. Not as a clinical case. Not as a broken child. I saw him for what he is. A child. A bright child. But a child who feels everything more intensely than others. A child who can't sit still because his brain never stops." Dr. Hayes crossed her arms. "We already know that. That's why he has ADHD. But ADHD isn't cured by understanding. It requires techniques, therapy, medication. Maria nodded. You're right, doctor. Techniques are needed, but techniques without love are just cold tools. And children with ADHD, they feel when they're treated like a problem. They feel when adults are frustrated. They feel when they're looked at with disappointment. Dr. Hayes opened her mouth to respond, but couldn't find the words. As because she knew Maria was right, she had been frustrated with Kevin. She had been disappointed. She had thought of him as a difficult case, almost an impossible case. And Kevin had felt it. How do you do it? Dr. Hayes asked. What techniques do you use? Maria pointed towards the playroom, the red kitchen timer. I use it to give him structure. Children with ADHD need to know how long they have to concentrate. 30 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break. Then I repeat. Dr. Hayes nodded. She already knew that. It was basic technique. And the stars, Maria continued. Immediate rewards. Children with ADHD can't wait for long-term rewards. They need to see progress now. Each completed problem is a star. 10 stars equal 20 minutes of playtime. Dr. Hayes nodded again. She knew that too. Also, basic technique. But then why hadn't it worked when she did it? Why did Kevin destroy everything in their sessions? When she used the same techniques, Maria seemed to read her mind. The difference isn't the techniques, doctor. The difference is who applies them and how they're applied. Dr. Hayes frowned. I don't understand. Maria leaned forward. When you used the timer, Kevin knew you were waiting for him to fail. When you gave him stars, Kevin felt like it was a consolation prize because you didn't believe he could actually improve. You were just following a protocol, and children feel that, especially children with ADHD. They have very sensitive antennas. They perceive everything, the frustration, the disappointment, the lack of faith. Dr. Hayes felt the heat rise to her cheeks because it was true. Everything Maria was saying was true. But there's something more, Maria said. Something that isn't in any book. What is it? Dr. Hayes asked. Believing in him and really believing in him. Not pretending I believe. Not telling him he can do it while thinking he can't. Really, in my heart, believing that Kevin isn't broken, that he's not a problem, that he's an extraordinary child who just needs someone to teach him how to manage his energy. Dr. Hayes felt something in her chest, something uncomfortable, because she hadn't believed in Kevin, and she had believed he was a lost cause. And children feel that. They always feel it. How do you know so much about ADHD? Dr. Hayes asked. Maria lowered her gaze. For the first time, she seemed vulnerable. My son has ADHD, she said. His name is Andrew. He's 24 years old now. Dr. Hayes looked at her, surprised. Your son? Maria nodded. Let me tell you the story. Andrew was born in 1999. I was 18 years old. I was a single mother. The father left when he found out I was pregnant. We never saw him again. From the time he was a baby, Andrew was different. He didn't sleep. He cried constantly. He moved all the time. The other moms told me it was normal, that babies are like that. But I knew something was different. I felt it. When he started walking, it was worse. He couldn't sit still for a second. He broke everything. He climbed everywhere. It was like having a little earthquake in the house. At 4 years old, they took him to be evaluated. The diagnosis was severe ADHD, with extreme hyperactivity, profound attention deficit, marked impulsivity. The doctor looked at me with pity. "Ma'am," he said, "your son is going to need special care his whole life. He probably will never be able to go to a normal school. He probably will never be able to work. You have to prepare yourself." I was 22 years old. I was alone. I was earning minimum wage cleaning offices. And they were telling me my son was broken, that he was beyond repair, that I should prepare to take care of him for the rest of my life. Maria paused. Her eyes welled up with tears. But I didn't accept it. I couldn't accept it. Not because I didn't believe in the doctors, but because I looked at my son. And I didn't see someone broken. I saw someone full of energy, full of ideas, full of life. The world just didn't know how to handle him. So I decided to learn. I read everything I could find about ADHD, books, magazines, articles. I talked to other parents. I looked for support groups. I experimented with techniques. Some worked, others didn't, but I never gave up. When Andrew was little, it was just like Kevin, worse even. He was expelled from 4 schools. 4. The first at 6 years old, for breaking the classroom windows. The second at 7, for fighting with other children. The third at 9, for not being able to sit still in class. The fourth at 11, for constantly interrupting. The doctors said he would never be able to study for a career, that he would never be able to hold a job, that he would need care his whole life. Maria smiled. The doctors were wrong. And what happened? Dr. Hayes asked. Maria smiled more broadly, a smile full of pride, of satisfaction, of triumph. What happened was that I never stopped believing. Never. Every time Andrew failed, I told him, "It's okay, son. We'll try again tomorrow." Every time he broke something, I told him, "Let's fix it together." Every time he was expelled, I told him, "We'll find another school, one that understands you." And we found it, a small school with patient teachers who understood that Andrew wasn't bad, just different. Andrew started to improve, not overnight, little by little, step by step. He learned to manage his energy, to focus his attention, to control his impulses. Today, Andrew is an engineer, a software engineer. She graduated with honors from college. She was the best in her class. She works at a tech company, one of the biggest in the country. She makes more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime, and she's happy. That's the most important thing. She's happy. Dr. Hayes felt the ground shift beneath her feet. How? How did she do it? Maria looked directly into her eyes. Because I never stopped believing in him. Never. Not for a single day. When everyone said he was broken, I told him he was special. When everyone said he couldn't, I showed him that he could. When everyone looked at him with disappointment, I looked at him with love. And he felt it. He always felt it. And that gave him the strength to overcome everything else. Dr. Hayes remained silent for a long time, processing, thinking, questioning everything she thought she knew. She had 20 years of experience, had degrees, certifications, awards. But this woman, this housekeeper with no formal education, had achieved in 2 months what 5 specialists couldn't in 5 years, because she knew something the books didn't teach. She knew that love and belief are more powerful than any technique. "Can I see him?" Dr. Hayes asked. "Your son? Photos? Anything?" Maria pulled out her phone, searched through her photo gallery, and began to show her pictures, one by one. "This is Kevin at 5 years old," she said. "A small boy, with big eyes, with a mischievous smile, destroying a garden. In this photo, he had just pulled all the neighbors' flowers. It cost me a week's wages to pay for them." She swiped to the next photo. "This is Kevin at 8, a bigger boy, with scraped knees, with dirty clothes, holding a trophy. He won a science contest. He made a volcano that really exploded. It exploded so hard it broke a window, but he won the contest." Dr. Hayes couldn't stop staring. "This is Kevin at 14, a teenager, serious, wearing glasses, with a book in his hand. This was the year he discovered he liked coding. He would sit in front of the computer for hours, hyper-focused. That's the good side of ADHD. When something really interests them, they can concentrate more than any normal person." She swiped to the next one. "This is Kevin at 18, his high school graduation day. A smiling young man, in a cap and gown, with a diploma in his hand. The boy, they said, would never finish school. Graduating with a 3.8 GPA. Dr. Hayes felt tears welling up. And finally, Maria showed the last photo. A young man, professional, in a suit, smiling, with a university degree in his hands. "This is Kevin on the day of his college graduation," Maria said. "Software engineer, magna cum laude. The boy they said would never achieve anything, graduating with honors, the best in his class." Dr. Hayes looked at the photo for a long time, then looked towards the den where Kevin was still working. The boy she had declared almost impossible, sitting, concentrated, doing his homework. Then she looked back at Maria. "In 20 years of practice," Dr. Hayes said, "I've seen hundreds of cases of ADHD. I've applied dozens of treatments. I've written articles and I've given lectures, but I have never seen a transformation like this, without medication, without formal therapy, just with love, structure, and faith." Maria smiled. "Faith can move mountains, doctor. I don't have degrees, but I have something no degree can give. I know what it feels like to love a child that the world says is broken, and I know what it feels like to prove the world was wrong." Dr. Hayes nodded slowly. "Maria, I want to ask you something." "What do you need, doctor?" "I want to document this case. I want to present it at the next ADHD conference. Not as a clinical case, but as a lesson. A lesson for all the professionals who have forgotten the most important thing." Maria tilted her head. "And what is the most important thing, doctor?" "That behind the diagnosis, there's a child. And that child needs someone to believe in him more than he needs any therapy." Mr. Harrison had been listening from the doorway, the whole time, every single word. He entered the living room with teary eyes, his hands trembling. "Doctor," he said, his voice cracking, "I spent millions on specialists, literally millions, the best in the country, the best in the world. I traveled to the United States, to the Mayo Clinic, to Boston, to New York. I traveled to Europe, to Switzerland, to Germany. I sought out the most renowned experts, the most famous researchers, the most awarded therapists. I sought out everything money could buy. I paid for experimental treatments, intensive programs, specialized retreats, imported medications, everything. Absolutely everything. And nothing worked. Nothing. My grandson was still the boy everyone called impossible, the boy everyone looked at with pity, the boy no one could help. And the answer was here. All this time, in a woman who came to clean my house, a woman without degrees, without certifications, without awards, just with love and with faith. Mr. Harrison approached Maria. He knelt before her, a millionaire kneeling before his housekeeper. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for saving my grandson. Thank you for doing what no one else could. Thank you for believing in him when I had stopped believing." Maria took his hands. "Mr. Harrison, Kevin didn't need to be saved. He just needed someone to see him, to really see him. Not the ADHD, him. The brilliant child that's behind the diagnosis," Mr. Harrison cried. For the first time in years. Since his son died, he hadn't cried. He had held it in. He had been strong. He had hidden the pain. But now he cried. He cried without shame. He cried for his son who was gone. He cried for his wife who had died of sadness. He cried for all the years of frustration. He cried for all the times he thought Kevin had no hope. And he cried with joy, because for the first time in a long time, he felt that things were going to be okay. Kevin appeared in the doorway of the living room, small, with big eyes, holding his star notebook. "Grandpa, why are you crying?" Mr. Harrison wiped away his tears quickly. He tried to compose himself, but he couldn't. He walked towards his grandson. He knelt down, looked him in the eyes, and hugged him, tight, like he hadn't hugged him in a long time. "Because I'm happy, son. So happy." Kevin didn't quite understand, but he returned the hug. "I'm happy too, Grandpa. I got 11 stars today. Maria says that's a record." Mr. Harrison chuckled through his tears. "A record. That's wonderful, son. That's wonderful." He continued hugging him for a long time, without wanting to let go, because at that moment, Mr. Harrison understood something important. His grandson wasn't broken. He never had been. He just needed someone who really saw him, and Maria had seen him. Where others saw problems, she saw potential. Where others saw impossible, she saw possibility. And that had changed everything. Kevin looked at Dr. Evelyn Hayes, who was still standing, observing the scene. "You're the doctor who came before, right?" Evelyn nodded, her voice caught in her throat. "Yes, Kevin, it's me." Kevin looked at her with curiosity, directly, without fear. "I used to be scared to come see you. I felt like you thought I was bad, that I was a problem, that I couldn't be fixed." Evelyn felt her heart breaking into 1,000 pieces, because the boy was right, completely right. She had thought exactly that. Kevin was a difficult case, an almost impossible case, a broken boy, but she was wrong, terribly wrong. "I'm sorry, Kevin," she said with a trembling voice. "You're right. I was wrong. You're not bad. You're not a problem. You're not a difficult case. You're an extraordinary boy with an extraordinary brain. That works differently than others. But that's not bad. It's special." Kevin smiled widely, a smile full of light, of confidence, of hope. That's what Maria says. She says my brain is like a race car engine, very fast, very powerful. You just have to learn how to drive it. And I'm learning. Every day I learn a little more. Evelyn smiled back. That's a perfect way to see it, Kevin. Perfect. Evelyn looked at Maria. A race car engine. It was a perfect analogy. Simple. Clear. That a 10-year-old could understand. Better than any scientific explanation. Maria, Evelyn said, you have a gift. Maria shook her head. I don't have any gift, Doctor. I just have experience. And love. A lot of love. And that's enough? Evelyn asked. Maria looked at her. It's always been enough. We've just forgotten. We've built so many techniques, so many protocols, so many methods, that we forget the most basic thing. Children need love. Love that believes in them. Love that doesn't give up. Love that sees beyond the diagnosis. Evelyn nodded. You're right. Completely right. But before we get to the conference, let me tell you what happened between Maria and Kevin. But the first few days, when it all started, Maria arrived to work on a Monday in August at 8 in the morning. Mr. Harrison greeted her at the door. He showed her the house. He explained her tasks: cleaning, cooking, laundry, nothing special, normal housekeeping work. And there's one more thing, Mr. Harrison said. My grandson lives here. His name is Kevin. He's 10 years old. He has ADHD. He's difficult, very difficult. I just ask that you have patience. And if he gets really bad, just step away. Don't try to control him. It's impossible. Maria nodded. Understood, sir. Mr. Harrison looked at her. You'll see. A minute later, a shout, something breaking, footsteps running. A boy appeared in the living room, hair disheveled and eyes shining, pure energy. Who are you? Kevin asked. Maria smiled. I'm Maria. I'm going to work here. Kevin looked her up and down. The last one left crying, he said. How long are you going to last? Mr. Harrison sighed. Kevin, don't be rude. I'm not rude, Kevin said. I'm honest, and they all leave. They always leave. Maria crouched down. She got to Kevin's level. She looked him in the eyes. I'm not going to leave, she said. Kevin laughed. That's what they all said. Maria smiled. But I'm not like all of them. Kevin looked at her with curiosity. For the first time, a glimmer of interest. Why? He asked. Because I understand. Understand what? You. Kevin blinked. No one had ever said that before. No one. You don't know me, Kevin said. Not yet, Maria replied. But I'm going to get to know you. And you'll see. You'll see that I'm not like the others. Kevin didn't say anything. He kept looking at her. Then he ran off. Toward the garden. As if nothing had happened. Mr. Harrison sighed. I'm sorry. He's like that. Maria got up. Don't worry, sir. I've seen worse. And boy, had she seen them. The first few days were difficult, very difficult. Kevin broke 3 plates, knocked over a lamp, screamed for hours, refused to eat. Any other housekeeper would have left. But Maria didn't. Maria observed. She learned. She identified patterns. She noticed that Kevin got worse after lunch. The sugar agitated him. She noticed that he calmed down when he was outside. The fresh air calmed him. She noticed that he got frustrated when he didn't understand the instructions. He needed clear, short steps. Maria started making small changes. She reduced the sugar in the meals. She took him to the garden every afternoon. She gave him simple instructions one at a time. Kevin started to change. Not much at first, but enough to notice. A week later, Maria sat with him to do homework. Not as a tutor, just as company. "I can't," Kevin said. "It's too hard. I can't concentrate." Maria took out a kitchen timer, the same red timer that Evelyn saw later. "Look," Maria said, "we're going to play a game. This timer is going to ring in 10 minutes. You just have to concentrate for 10 minutes, then you rest." Kevin looked at her suspiciously. "And if I can't, then we try with 5 minutes. And if I can't do that either, then 3 minutes. And if..." "Kevin," Maria said firmly, "you can. I know you can. You just have to try." Kevin looked at her. There was something different in Maria's eyes, something he hadn't seen in the other adults. There was no frustration. There was no disappointment. There was no pity. There was faith, genuine faith. Maria believed in him. She really believed. Kevin picked up the pencil. He concentrated. The timer rang. 10 minutes. Kevin had done 3 math problems. Without getting up. Without screaming. Without breaking anything. "I did it," Kevin said, surprised. Maria smiled. "I told you you could." Kevin smiled. For the first time in a long time, a real smile. That was the beginning. The following weeks, they were a transformation. Slow, but steady. Maria introduced the star system. Each completed task earned a star. 10 stars equaled 20 minutes of whatever Kevin wanted. Video games, television, playing in the backyard. Whatever he decided. Kevin started competing with himself. How many stars can I get today? Yesterday I got 7. Today I'm going for 8. And it worked, because the rewards were immediate, not empty promises of things that would happen later. Results now, visible progress, and most importantly, Maria never gave up. Never. There were bad days. Days when Kevin would scream. Days when he would break things. Days when it seemed like all the progress had been lost. But Maria didn't get discouraged. "It's okay, Kevin," she'd say. "Today was difficult. Tomorrow we'll try again." And Kevin believed her. Because he knew that Maria wasn't judging him. She wasn't disappointed. She was just there, present, constant, believing in him. 2 months later, the day Dr. Evelyn Hayes arrived and saw the impossible. 3 months later, the National ADHD Conference. Dr. Hayes was on stage, nervous, excited, facing 500 professionals, psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists, educators, researchers, the best in the country. Many of them her colleagues, her mentors, her competitors. She had presented many cases before, impressive clinical cases, with statistical data, with progress charts, with measurable and verifiable results. But this case was different. This case didn't have elaborate charts. It didn't have cold, clinical data. It had something better, something more powerful. It had a story of love, of faith, of persistence. "Colleagues," Dr. Hayes began, "today I'm not going to talk to you about a new treatment. I'm not going to present a new technique. I'm going to talk to you about a lesson that a housekeeper taught me." The auditorium fell silent. Her name is Maria. She's 42 years old. She doesn't have a university degree, so she doesn't have certifications. She hasn't read the studies that we read, but she achieved something that 5 of the best specialists couldn't. Dr. Hayes showed the photos. Kevin before, a child with wild eyes, destroying a room, screaming, crying, out of control. Kevin after, the same child, but different, sitting, concentrated, smiling, working. The photos spoke for themselves. Then she showed the videos, the chaos of before. A therapy session recorded 6 months ago. Kevin flipping a table, screaming that he couldn't do it, that he was stupid, that everyone hated him. Dr. Hayes pausing it, frustrated, defeated. The auditorium watched in silence. Then the video of after. Recorded 2 weeks ago. The same child is sitting at the same table, but this time concentrated, doing math exercises, counting his stars, smiling when he got one more. Maria by his side, patient, loving, believing. The difference was abysmal. It was like seeing 2 different children, but it was the same one, the same Kevin, only now someone believed in him. The auditorium murmured, incredulous, surprised, some with tears in their eyes. "How is this possible?" someone asked from the back. Dr. Hayes smiled. "It's possible because Maria knew something that we forgot. She knew that behind the diagnosis. There's a child who feels when we believe in him and when we don't. A child who needs love as much as he needs therapy, maybe more." Dr. Hayes paused. "Maria's son has ADHD. Today he's an engineer. He graduated with honors, against all odds, because she never stopped believing in him." The auditorium was completely silent. "We have degrees," Dr. Hayes continued. "We have knowledge. We have techniques, but sometimes we forget the most important thing. We forget that a child is not a case. He's a person who needs to feel that someone believes in him." Dr. Hayes stepped down from the stage. She walked towards where Maria was sitting. She had invited her personally. "Maria, please, come up on stage." Maria stood up nervously. She had never spoken in front of so many people. She walked slowly. She went up on stage. 500 professionals were looking at her. "I don't know how to speak fancy," Maria began. "I don't have elegant words. I just have my story. My son, Andrew, was born different. From a young age, I knew that his brain worked differently. The doctors gave it a name, ADHD, as if that explained everything. But a name doesn't explain a child. A name doesn't say who he is on the inside." Maria took a deep breath. "Andrew was a whirlwind. He broke everything. He couldn't sit still. The teachers told me he was impossible. The doctors told me he would never be normal." Maria smiled. "But I didn't want him to be normal. I wanted him to be him. The Andrew that I saw, the one who had brilliant ideas, the one who could concentrate for hours on something he liked, the one who had the biggest heart I know." The tears began to fall, not only from Maria, from many in the auditorium. Professionals with decades of experience were crying because Maria's words touched something deep, something that everyone had forgotten. Maria continued, "When Andrew was 7 years old, a doctor told me something that I'll never forget. He said to me, 'Mrs., you have to accept reality. Your son is never going to be normal. He's never going to be able to study like the others. He's never going to be able to work like the others. Accept it and prepare to take care of him for the rest of your life.'" Maria paused. "That day, I cried all night. I thought the doctor was right, that I was crazy for believing that my son could be something more. But the next morning, Andrew woke up. He came to my bed and he said, 'Mom, why are you sad?' I told him it was nothing. that I was tired. And he looked at me with those big eyes he has, and he said, "Don't worry, Mom. I'm going to be someone important when I grow up. You'll see." Maria cried harder. The auditorium was in complete silence. My 7-year-old son, the child that everyone said was broken, was consoling me. He was telling me that he was going to achieve things. And at that moment, I decided that I was going to believe him. I was going to believe in him more than I believed in the doctors, more than I believed in the specialists, more than I believed in the prognoses. I was going to believe in my son, because he believed in himself, and I couldn't be left behind. I learned to speak his language, Maria said, not the language of doctors, not the language of specialists, but Kevin's language. I learned that he needed structure, clear rules, consistency, defined times, to know exactly what was going to happen and when. I learned that he needed immediate rewards, not promises of things that would happen later. Results now, visible progress, constant celebrations for every small achievement. I learned that he needed movement, that I couldn't ask him to sit still for hours, that his body needed to move so his mind could think. I learned that he needed understanding, not scolding, not punishments, not yelling, understanding, patience, love, but above all, he needed me to believe in him, not just in words, but truly in my heart, every day, every hour, every minute. Even if the world said he couldn't, I told him he could. Even if the doctors said it was impossible, I told him that nothing was impossible. Even if the teachers looked at me with pity, I looked at him with pride. And he believed me. He always believed me. Maria pulled out her phone. She showed a photo of Kevin with his diploma. "This is my son," she said. "An engineer. The boy they said would never achieve anything." The auditorium applauded, long, loud, with tears. But Maria raised her hand. "Don't applaud me," she said. "Applaud all the kids with ADHD who are waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for someone to look at them without disappointment, waiting for someone to see beyond the diagnosis. These kids deserve the applause, not me." Dr. Hayes went up on stage. She stood next to Maria. "Colleagues," she said, "today we learned something that isn't in any book. The love that believes is the most powerful therapy that exists. And you don't need a degree to give it. You just need a heart that doesn't give up." The auditorium stood up. They applauded for 5 minutes, non-stop. Maria cried. Dr. Hayes cried. 500 professionals cried. Because they all remembered something they had forgotten. That behind every case, there's a person, and that person needs love as much as they need treatment. 6 months later, Kevin entered the 4th grade at a new school, a school that knew about his condition, but that also knew about his transformation. On the first day of class, Kevin raised his hand. "Teacher," he said, "I have ADHD. My brain is like a race car engine, very fast. Sometimes I need to move to think better. But I can do everything the others do. I just need a little more time sometimes." The teacher smiled. "Thank you for sharing that, Kevin," she said. "Here, we're going to help that race car engine get wherever you want to go." Kevin smiled, a smile full of confidence, a smile he'd never had before. because someone had believed in him. And that had changed everything. Mr. Harrison hired Maria as Kevin's personal tutor, not as a cleaning lady, but as a tutor, with a professional salary, 3 times what she earned before, with health insurance, with paid vacations, with everything a professional deserves, because Maria had proven to be more professional than any professional. But Maria asked for something more, something that Mr. Harrison didn't expect. "I want to help other children," she said. Mr. Harrison looked at her surprised. "Other children?" "Yes, sir. There are many Kevins out there. Many children who the world says are broken. Many desperate parents. Many families suffering. I know I can help them. Not with degrees. Not with certifications. But with the only thing I have: experience and love." Mr. Harrison thought for a long time. Then he spoke. "What do you need?" Maria took a deep breath. "A space, a place where parents can come, where I can teach them what I learned with Kevin, what I'm applying with Kevin. Not complicated techniques, not cold protocols, just love, structure, and faith. I need a place where children can feel accepted, where no one looks at them as problems, where they can learn to manage their energy, without anyone judging them." Mr. Harrison nodded. "Consider it done." And that's how the Kevin Center was born. Mr. Harrison financed everything: the location, the furniture, the materials, the salaries, everything. It's called the Kevin Center, in honor of Maria's son, Kevin, the boy everyone said would never achieve anything. The center opened in January, with 5 families, 5 children with ADHD, 5 stories of hope. 1 year later, today they serve 120 families, 120 children with ADHD, 120 stories of transformation, 120 miracles in progress. Because that's what happens when someone believes. Kevin, Maria's son, the engineer everyone said would be impossible, comes to the center every Saturday, leaves his job, leaves his busy life as a successful engineer, and comes to give talks to the parents, to the desperate parents, to the parents who have lost hope, to the parents who are where his mom was 20 years ago. He tells them his story, from the beginning, the diagnosis at 4 years old, the expulsions from school, the doctors who said he would never achieve anything, the nights his mom cried, thinking he wasn't listening. But he was listening. He was always listening. And then he tells them the other part, the part where everything changed. He tells them how his mom never stopped believing, how she looked at him with love when everyone looked at him with disappointment, how she told him he could when everyone said he couldn't. He tells them how that changed everything, how it gave him the strength to keep going, to not give up, to prove that the doctors were wrong. And at the end of each talk, Kevin tells them something important. Look at your children. Don't see the diagnosis. See the person. Believe in them. Even if the world says they can't, you believe they can. Because that's going to make all the difference. My mom believed in me. And here I am, an engineer, successful, happy. Not because the ADHD disappeared, but because I learned to manage it. With help, with love, with someone who believed in me. Your children can do the same. They just need you to believe. He tells them that their children can achieve everything they dream of. Absolutely everything. If someone believes in them, if someone doesn't give up, if someone looks at them and sees potential instead of a problem. Dr. Hayes collaborates with the center voluntarily every Saturday morning without charging a dime. She says she learns more there than at any conference, more than in any book, more than in any scientific study. She learns that love is the best medicine, that faith can move mountains, that a title doesn't make anyone a better person, that sometimes those who have the least are the ones who give the most. Sometimes Dr. Hayes wonders, how is it possible that a housekeeper achieves what the best specialist couldn't? And the answer is always the same: love, faith, persistence. 3 things you can't learn at any university. 3 things that Maria has in abundance. Kevin is 11 years old now. A year has passed since everything changed. He gets good grades, not perfect, but good. An average of a B, something that seemed impossible 2 years ago. He has friends, 3 close friends, kids who understand him, who don't judge him, who play with him regardless of whether he's sometimes too much. He plays soccer. He's the goalie. Because there, he can move, he can jump, he can use all that energy he has, and he's good, very good. The coach says he has cat-like reflexes, that he's the best goalie he's had in years, that he has a future in the sport if he wants it. Mr. Harrison goes to all the games. He sits in the stands, shouting with excitement when Kevin blocks a shot, crying with happiness when they win. He's the proudest grandfather in the world. And Maria goes too, to every game, without fail. She celebrates every save, every goal prevented, every victory, as if he were her own son. Because, in a way, Kevin has become that. The second son she never had. The boy who allowed her to use everything she learned with Andres. The proof that the love she believes in can change lives. He's happy. That's the word. The only word that matters. Happy. Not because his ADHD disappeared. ADHD doesn't disappear. It never disappears. It's part of who Kevin is. Part of his brain. Part of his identity. But it's no longer a curse. It's just a characteristic, like having brown eyes or being left-handed. Something that makes him different. Not bad. Different. He's happy because he learned to manage it. He learned that his brain needs structure. He learned that he needs to move to think. He learned that he can concentrate if he breaks down tasks. He learned that he's not broken. He just functions differently. And because he has someone who believes in him, someone who never gave up, someone who looked at him and saw potential when everyone else saw a problem, every night, before going to sleep. Kevin calls Maria. "Good night, Maria," he says. "Thank you for believing in me." Maria smiles. "Good night, champion. Never forget, your brain isn't broken, it's special, and you're going to do incredible things with it." Kevin hangs up, smiling, believing, because someone taught him to believe in himself, and that's worth more than any therapy, more than any medication, more than any degree. This story is for all the kids who feel different, for all those who have heard they are broken, for all those who hope that someone believes in them. You are not broken. You are special. Your brain works differently, not worse, different. And with the right love, with the right guidance, with someone who believes in you, you can achieve everything you dream of. Everything. And this story is for all the adults who know a different child. A child with ADHD, with autism, with dyslexia, with any condition that the world calls a disability. Don't look at them as a problem. Don't look at them as a burden. Don't look at them as something that needs to be fixed. Look at them as an opportunity to make a difference, to be that person who believes, to change a life forever. Think about Maria, a woman without degrees, without money, without power, but with something worth more than all of that. A heart that doesn't give up, a faith that doesn't fade, a love that has no conditions. If she could do it, you can too. You don't need degree, you don't need certifications, you don't need money, you don't need to be experts. You just need love. Love that believes, love that hopes, love that has patience, love that doesn't give up when things get difficult, love that sees beyond the diagnosis, beyond the labels, beyond the prognoses. That love changes everything. It always has. It always will. Look at Andres, the boy who they said would never achieve anything. Today, he's an engineer. Look at Kevin, the boy that 5 specialists declared impossible. Today, he's happy. He has friends. He has a future. What changed? What made the difference? One person. Just one person who believed in them. Maria had nothing. She didn't have university degrees. She didn't have professional recognition. She didn't have awards or certifications, just experience, just love, just faith. And with that, she achieved what 5 specialists couldn't. She achieved what millions of dollars didn't buy. She achieved what science said was impossible, because love that believes is the most powerful force in the universe, more powerful than any medication, more powerful than any therapy, more powerful than any technique. Love that believes moves mountains. Never forget it. Never. If you know someone who needs to hear this story, share this video. Send it to that desperate mom, to that dad who doesn't know what to do anymore, to that family that's suffering. A story can change a life. An act of faith can save a child. A moment of love can create a miracle. And maybe, just maybe, this story is the miracle that someone needs to hear today. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for believing in these stories. Every time you watch a complete video, every time you share, every time you leave a comment, you're helping these stories reach more people. People who need them, people who are looking for hope. And remember, always remember, behind every diagnosis there's a person, not a case, not a problem, not a statistic, a person with dreams, with fears, with hopes, a person who deserves love, who deserves faith, who deserves someone to believe in them. Be that person for someone. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. The world needs more Mariahs, more people who look beyond the labels, more hearts that don't give up, more eyes that see potential where others see problems. Be that person. The world needs them, desperately. And there's a child out there, right now, as you're listening to this, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for someone to look at them without disappointment, waiting for someone to tell them they're not broken, that they are special, that they can achieve everything they dream of. Maybe that child is in your family, your son, your nephew, your grandson. Perhaps they're in your neighborhood, the kid everyone avoids, the one who's always in trouble. Maybe they're in your school, the difficult student, the one nobody wants in their class. Look at them, really look at them, not at the diagnosis, not at the label, not at the problem, at them, at the person beneath, and believe in them. Believe with all your heart. That can change everything, forever. Because a child who knows that someone believes in them is a child who can move mountains. Andrew did it, Kevin is doing it, and thousands more children can do it. If someone believes in them, be that someone, today. And every day from here on out, the world changes. One child at a time, one act of faith at a time, one believing love at a time. Start today. The miracle is waiting.